In these first days of spring, all of us are thinking about what our gardens are going to look like as we move into April and then May and then eventually into the summertime. And I know that a lot of us are not fully into the weather that will lend to planting annuals. We wanted to share with you today our annuals that we received recently from an order that we had made to Creekside Nursery in North Carolina. Now, this is really special for us because I'm sure you've heard me say, if you've been watching any of our videos, that it's really difficult for us to find Proven Winners annuals at our local retail center. We get a few here and there, but not very much. We don't have near the variety that a lot of people have throughout the country, and especially back east. So this is really a great day because not only are these the first of our annuals that we're going to be planting this year, but they come from a very special place. And I know a lot of you may already know of Creekside Nursery and watch that YouTube channel with Jenny and Jerry. And it's so informative and such a pleasure to watch. They're such personable people, and I personally enjoy watching what they have to say and what they have going on in their gardens. So the fact that we were able to order from them this year has been really an exciting thing. Now, this year they've expanded their business to include an online store, and so that's exactly what we did. We thought we'd try them out, and when they arrived, I had opened these up thinking that, they were going to be beautiful, and in fact, they were. They took so much time and care in planting their annuals, and you could tell that the care was taken to make sure that they traveled well all across the country. Now, when you consider how far these had to travel from North Carolina all the way here to Southern California, that's quite the distance, and it took a little over a week to arrive on our doorstep. And when I opened these up, you always wonder what they look like because they were in the dark, and very often in a warehouse, you don't necessarily know the conditions or the air conditions or the temperature. And I was pleasantly surprised when I opened them because they were remarkably well taken care of. And that's partly because of the care that Jenny's team took in packing these up before they left their facility. One of the things that I really was impressed with is that they were wrapped with plastic on the bottom in a way that went around the base of the plant, making sure that the soil was trapped in the bottom so that if the box was turned upside down, it wouldn't completely dump out and spill the plant. And, that could be disastrous, obviously, because it could, overturn itself and the dirt could be dislodged, and that would expose the root system and all kinds of damage could happen. So that evidently was not the case because they were perfect when they came out of the box. So being that these are our first annuals, and being that they came from Creekside Nursery, we thought we'd share with you a video on what we had decided to order. I'm going to have other things coming in a couple of weeks that I have ordered from Proven Winners, and hopefully I'll be able to find some other perennials and other plants from our local retail centers. But we don't really have that much variety in our area, which is very unusual because we do have such a really mild climate here, and you would think that there would be more things available where we are, but there really isn't. So I've really tried to kind of stay with Proven Winners for a couple of reasons that I'll share with you in a future video. But for now, let's take a moment and talk about these two beautiful varieties. One I've had experience before growing, and the other one is going to be new to us. Both of these I think are going to be great, and I have two different plans for both of these plants. So let's talk about the one that's up here right now. This is the beautiful double up pink begonia from Proven Winners, and these are going to be fantastic here in our climate. And the reason why I know that is because I've had great success with the Surefire begonias, and these I'm sure are going to be no exception to that. They did when I took them out, because they do need to get acclimated to our climate here. So when I took them out, I kept them in an area that got a little bit of sun and then mostly shade, and then try to transition them. I've had them out there for about a week, but it never fails. Anytime I order begonias, they do have a little bit of burning on the leaves. It doesn't hurt the plant in any way, shape, or form. They just need to get acclimated because, they're in a greenhouse, and then they're in a dark box for over a week. And then when they come out of that box and into our weather here, it will take them a little while to get acclimated to the new climate. So there's been just a little bit of drying on the edges of the leaves, but nothing too bad at all. In fact, it's still pushing growth from the main stalk of the plant, and they're super, super healthy, as you can tell right here. But let's talk about these and what I have planned for them. I'm going to plant these up in either my hanging basket that I removed a couple weeks ago that was next to my kitchen window, or I'm going to plant them in my urns that I had planted up with some surefire begonias last year, along with the diamond frost euphorbia and the super bells. And I think what I'm going to try to do this year is do kind of like a monoculture. I've ordered a lot of things that are pink and yellow in the garden, and I'm going to try to kind of keep it cohesive, along with a little bit of lavender. So let's talk about these amazing plants. They are hardy down to 30 degrees, and they are an annual except in zones 10A through 11B, I believe. So for us, they can be considered an perennial, and I can vouch for the fact that I have grown the surefire begonias and cut them back way down, and they have sprouted a second year or even a third year after their original planting. So they will grow like that for us if these are anything like the surefire variety. Now, the amazing thing about these that I'm looking forward to is those double blooms, those double light pink blooms. And what I can tell from the pictures that I've seen online, they are absolutely beautiful. They grow nice and compact, and they're just loaded with blooms all season. And I think the care is going to be relatively easy too, because from what I gather, they just need normal watering conditions, and then fertilizing them regularly, I think, would also help. And I try to be as good about that as possible. Sometimes it's every week, sometimes it's every other week. And I think as long as I hit them with a little bit of water soluble here and there throughout the season, and really get them started with some really good soil and some land and sea compost, maybe in addition to some slow release fertilizer from Proven Winners, I think that will set them up to be excellent this whole season. And I hope to have them blooming all the way until the fall. That's my goal. But I'm looking forward to planting these in those urns that I had on either side of my back porch. And I think that condition will be perfect for them, because they are extremely versatile in that you can plant them in full sun and they'll do fine. And also you can plant them in shade. And that area of my yard is in full sun all morning long until early afternoon. And then that's followed by a period of shade for the rest of the day. Now, this variety I'm really excited to share with you, because I've actually grown this before. A couple of years ago, my wife had purchased a pre-made container, and it had this beautiful Carolee Petite Pink Guara in it from Proven Winners, and it also had Supertunia Bordeaux along with a Super Bells, and that arrangement was absolutely beautiful. But the standout plant in that arrangement that lasted for more than 3 seasons was this very plant right here. Now, the great thing about this is it can be considered a perennial down to, I believe, zone 6. So that's great for a lot of people if you want to get multiple seasons out of an enormously successful plant. This one, you might want to try this. And this is not like your typical guara. It's a little bit different in that it grows a little bit more tight and compact. It doesn't seem to be as, I don't know, out of control as some can get, although that look is really beautiful. That free growing, beautiful kind of wispy growth habit is one of the things that I really like about these plants. But the pink color on these is kind of like a bubblegum soft pink, a little bit different than the double up pink here. And I don't know if I'll put those together, but my idea is in the front garden to have it more, not necessarily cottage garden inspired, but have a little bit more texture in that area when I plant my Superbina and my Supertunias in the garden. 2 new varieties this year. I want to come in and put a little bit of this to give it a little bit of height and a little bit of movement when the wind is blowing. That will hopefully, in this case, be a bunch of blooms blooming on top of the foliage canopy. So let's talk about these and how to best take care of these. It says on here that these are heat tolerant, which they were for me when I grew them last time. In addition, they can benefit from regular fertilizing, and the fact that these are hardy down to -10 is amazing. They are seriously a powerhouse in the garden. So I ordered 6 of these. I may use some of them for containers. I may plant them all in the front yard. That's yet to be seen. Now, we're not sure quite where, if I'm going to use all of these in the front planter or if I'm going to use them in containers. That will depend on what I can find here locally. But anyways, we really thank you for being here today. And, we wanted to thank you for all of your kind support over the years. We've actually started a new Instagram account. I'll put that link down below so you can follow us there. But until next time, these are our first annuals of the season, and it's so special to get them from Creekside Nursery, which to me is a place that I would definitely love to visit someday. But until the time where I can visit in North Carolina, it's so nice to know that they have offered online shipping this year, because we are definitely going to benefit from that. So thank you, Creekside, for making it possible. Anyways, until next time, we hope you enjoyed today's video as we look forward to the spring, and we hope to see you again very soon. Until then, happy gardening, everybody. Bye-bye.